These are exciting times when Bill Maher goes on The View and really ends up kind of correcting Joy Behar on her abandoning her comedian principles. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Bill Maher goes on The View.
You're a comic, but you basically go after Trump and Biden. You know, both of them. And a lot of people are not happy with you about that.
Yeah, and it's the fact that Bill Maher goes after both Biden and Trump. By the way, still always harder on Trump than on Biden, but he goes after both. That makes him a comedian. You know, if you only go after one or the other, then you're basically political propaganda. Even Bill Maher, I think, could go after Biden a little harder, but I'm happy that he goes after him even a little bit. He basically compares him in this video to a cadaver.
I'm
not equally.
Well, not equally, because you know that Trump is more dangerous.
Of course. I mean, I don't think anybody was more out front on that danger than I was.
And I hate how Bill Maher just groans. He's so, of course I go after Trump. He's a bigger danger. That's his way of apologizing and neutering himself before Joy Behar. Hey, don't get me in trouble. I go after Biden more than Trump. You know, it's a defense.
I was using the term slow-moving coup before he was elected the first time.
That's right.
I said, this guy is never going to concede power. It's impossible to imagine him going, oh, I lost.
Yeah, he's saying that about Trump. Can there be a slower moving coup than Joe Biden?
Yeah, can't do it.
That's just not in his nature.
So, but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, you know, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously. But
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, you know, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility.
How many votes is Bill Maher going to sway away from Biden and to go for Trump? How many votes is Joy Behar going to sway if she tells jokes about Biden that we all agree with? Is it going to sway votes? I don't think so. I really think people, we can laugh at our political figures. I can make fun of Trump all day for being orange, for being overpowering and political, for having too high of an opinion of himself. I can make fun of his hair. I can make fun of all kinds of things about him and Joe Biden without swaying votes. Now, I'm not a comedian. I am not just here to entertain. I actually am here to sway people away from Biden and to vote for Trump. But that's where I'm different than a comedian.
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way.
Man, this is a huge moment for Joy Behar. She's just the colors draining from her face as she admits this truth. That Biden and Trump are about the same age, but Trump is the energizer bunny. Like, you can't hold that guy's energy down. And Biden presents as a corpse. He presents much older. And so they're actually coming out and refuting a Democrat talking point. The Democrat talking point is, look, both are too old. They're both too old. They're too old. It's not about old. It's about Biden is a mannequin.
You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
Oh, cadaver-like. There's no recovery for that. You can't spin that. And Joy Behar, if she's telling the truth, or if she's being funny as a comedian, would be able to say that Biden is cadaver-like. It's no different than saying Trump is orange. He is orange. I'm not telling the truth if I go, guy, you know, Trump comes off as a pale blue. No, he doesn't. He comes off as orange. And Biden does not come off like he's alive, like he's vibrant, like he's cognizant, like he knows where he's at. He comes off like, well, you know.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
And Joy Behar is still lying to herself. His brain is good and Biden is still great. She can't get around. This is when you're a zombie. If you can't see past your own political bias, then you really should be worried about yourself. If you can never find a fault in your own party, then you're a zombie.
Well, here's what I said. Like, when I came back after the strike in September, I said, he should get out.
Another Democrat saying Biden should get out. Just want to say, These aren't Republicans saying it. These are Democrats coming to that moment where they realize Biden has to get out. That's the overwhelming call, by the way, of Democrats. And it's going to grow. It's going to grow until they finally kick Biden out and don't let him run, because they know he's going to lose.
Because he's just lost the faith of people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job. Yeah. But I said he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I used. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair.
It also implies that Biden is going to die in office, which is what happened to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He's not just cadaver-like. He literally could become a cadaver.
Yeah. I remember Obama had her over to the White House, like in 2013, to hint, hey, spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the hint, and she was not in good health, and she stayed too long, and she ruined her legacy and got the Supreme Court now to be a pretty right-wing organization.
That's probably the best thing Ruth Bader Ginsburg ever did, was fix the Supreme Court. Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's probably the most constitutional, most pro-Supreme Court-y thing you ever did, was staying too long. It is one of the few positive things I can say about her entire legacy, but I do have to say, hats off. Thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for staying and sticking with it. And I'd like to encourage Biden to do the same thing.
Said Biden shouldn't do that, but ego, he's Dracula. He has crossed oceans of time to be here, and he's not going to give it up now.
That's right. Biden is the gift that keeps on giving. They thought they'd just plug him in. They'd plug in Biden with his literal plugs, and they thought that he would go away when they were done with him. And now they're done with him. And he's like, I think I'll stay and run again. And they're like, no. Now what will the Democrats do to get him out? That's the only thing that we should be afraid of. I actually think it's going to be pretty easy for them to get him out. The only question is, do they admit that fault, or do they double down and say, I think we can drag him over that finish line? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Will the Democrat Party run someone else besides Biden? I don't see how they run him. I'm Doug in exile.